Right now, the stock market is up almost 6%, but those tariffs are starting to bite, and we need places to invest to make even more money than that. So what are the best stocks to invest in that are off the radar, stocks that people are not talking about right now? Let's go ahead and break it down. I'm gonna jump straight into the list. The first one here is John Deere. I actually didn't mean to rhyme that, but hey, I'll take it. All right, the stock symbol for John Deere is DE. In the last 6 months, John Deere is up 17%. In the last year, it is up 38%. Now, John Deere, I think, was mentioned on this channel at least once, but it's not something everybody else has talked about. Now, interestingly enough, there has been, I would say, at least in my finding of stocks that people are not talking about, other than me, is somewhat of a slight manufacturing, slight agricultural lean to it. Just what came up in my scanner, just what came up in terms of the things that I am looking for. Things I'm looking for, stocks that obviously outperform the stock market, and they're usually in the top 5 to 10% of performers within the S&P 500 too. So that's what I try and look for. I'm looking for the cream of the crop, y'all. I want the top of the class and nothing else. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Next here is Uber. Uber is interesting for a few reasons. So first, they're up 43% in the last 6 months and up 30% in the last year. Now, I will give you one slight warning and then one bright spot for Uber. The warning is, though Uber is up, those are facts, right? Those are the past gains. Now, they don't predict the future, right? Past results don't predict the future for any stock or really any investment for that matter. However, it has been a bit of a roller coaster ride. It has not been, a straight slide up. I don't think you slide up. You usually slide down. You guys get the point. But it's been a little rocky on that ride up the mountain, if you will. But the gain is the gain in the past. That's the bad news if you are not equipped for that gain or you want something that's a little less volatile. So I'm just telling you that. I'm telling you up front. All right. The second thing is there has been a bit of billionaire activity. So they have, I can't say insider investing. So I didn't see the CEO or anybody starting to buy more shares of Uber, at least in a manner that gets me excited. Uber does have a lot of outsider billionaire hedge fund investment management money flowing into it. So that part is quite interesting. I didn't see any insider activity. That's not a good or bad sign. They just haven't been buying recently. Quick time out. I know we've been talking a lot about investing today. However, if you don't know where to start or you haven't started yet, I have a free guide on how you can buy your first stock in just 20 minutes. To get that free guide, check out the link right here. All right, back to the video. This is the one that one of y'all have been waiting for. It is GE. A few weeks ago, one of y'all had said, what are your thoughts on GE? That comment has been sticking in my mind. I have been meaning to go back and respond, but as you guys know, I do lots of videos, lots of editing. I'm on lots of platforms. I've been trying to get back to that comment, but I haven't been able to find it. Here is my answer. GE has been on fire. All right, GE is up 50% in the last 6 months and up 62% in the last year. I like GE and I like GE a lot. Now, interestingly enough, they're also in the aerospace category, which is the same space where Honeywell is, HWM. So for me, I don't know if I can buy both because I don't want two similar companies. But I ain't gonna lie, maybe I should have bought GE instead. Okay, so again, GE is doing quite well. It is perhaps one of the best performers on my list. The other part of this is the bill has already been passed, so we're going to start to see, at least in my estimation, more money funneled into a lot more domestic companies, especially in that aerospace category. So you was on to something with GE, and hey, those are my thoughts. You asked, and I'm going to put something in our members only to kind of give a more detailed breakdown for GE. But whew, GE is absolutely one of the best ones in my view. Then we move on to IBM. I don't know why IBM is so slept on. I don't understand it. IBM is up 29% in the last 6 months and up 54% over the last year. I don't see anybody talking about IBM. I know people have been talking about Palantir, and perhaps for good reason. I understand that. IBM continues to be slept on, and last I checked, they paid a pretty solid dividend. In fact, let me grab my phone right now and see. Yeah, IBM pays a 2.36 dividend, so that is solid. That is a solid dividend there, especially for a tech company. They've been around for decades. I don't. Why, y'all? Why IBM sitting there, okay, and completely stepped on like a pillow. And here we go to Cortiva. All right, CTVA is the ticker symbol here, and this is the one that has insider buying activity. I caught 11 insider buyers, only 3 insider sellers. Why is that important? Insider buying activity is only in the last 3 months, which is even more important to me. When you see more insider buyers than insider sellers, it is usually a signal that the stock is going to outperform the stock market, which it already has been doing, but perhaps that's going to accelerate just a bit more. There was a Harvard study, I think it was in the 1990s, I have to go back and get the exact dates, but that study showed that when we start to see insider buyers, the stock does outperform. So it ain't just something I made up, okay? There's some data and research behind it. But first off, the stock is up 22% in the last 6 months and up 40% over the last year. Again, these insiders know more than I do, okay? But they started to hop in and buy more, okay? And there's only one reason as to why they would buy, because they think things are going to do what? They think things are going to rise. They can sell for all types of reasons. All right. Cortiva, though, is in the agriculture business, so it sort of relates back to John Deere. They do seeds, insecticides, pesticides, stuff like that. I say that because I will be digging a lot more into it to see if there is some sort of connection between John Deere and this company, to see if there's something taking off, because it's not the only company I've seen in this space starting to do well. But the fact that they have insider buyers has absolutely caught my attention. They do pay a small dividend, much smaller than IBM, of 0.92%. Not a ton, but it's better than nothing, especially on a stock that's up 22% in a year. The stock market so far is only up 6%. So definitely worth the look to add to your watch list. So take these, add them to your watch list. Let me know in the comments which ones you like the most. However, this is only half of the investing game. You should also know what stocks to avoid, because you can have these stocks to invest in, but then the rest of your money is all in stocks that lost your money. So you got some good stocks. You should also know what stocks to sidestep and not invest in. If you want to know what those stocks are, you want to check out this video right here.